This world is ruled by one God, and that God is money. And the quicker that people get honest about that, the quicker that you'll be empowered to shift and transform and change your life completely. Because if you look at the whole power structure on this planet, it is all based around money. And the reason why it's based around money is because money is what creates status, it's what creates power, it's what creates influence, and it is what we have been conditioned to place higher value on than anything else in the world today. And obviously everything I'm saying is a generalization, but overall, this planet is ruled by the god of money. So, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that what has to happen on a global scale is that the monetary system has to collapse. And that's what we're seeing is actually happening right now and what we're in the midst of. And over the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to see massive transformation on this planet. Now, the illusion is that if you have money, that you have power and control and influence over this process, and that you will be able to get through it unscathed. And that couldn't be further from the truth, because the only reality that exists is the reality that's on the inside of each and every single human being, and the relationship that they're able to foster with their superconscious selves, with their higher selves, with their God selves, with the source of who you truly are and who you were born to be. And that's the reason why my highest priority is to teach people to connect with themselves through meditation and through very specific programs and tools and systems that are scientifically backed through the quantum field and the quantum mechanics and the quantum sciences and a lot of other different branches. As a matter of fact, the processes that I teach and help people walk through in order to establish that connection with self and to establish the communication and being able to manage your life from the inside out and surrender to the source of who you are, to surrender to you, the person and the aspect of you that knows you better than you know yourself, knows everything that's going on with you, every life lesson that you have, every struggle, every thought, everything that you could ever possibly imagine. The only person that knows you to that degree is you, but it's your higher self. It's the higher aspects of yourself that humanity, for the most part, has been cut off from. That's the great mystery. That's the great secret. You want to live on this planet superhuman. You want to master your reality. You want to manifest. You want to create the life of your dreams. And you want to fully realize your full potential. You can only do it by going in. And the irony is that when you go within, that's when you create the synchronicities, that's when you create the ease, that's when you create the flow, that's when you create the synchronicities and the miracles and the blessings and all the things that will allow you to live your life in the way that you were supposed to, the way that you actually truly want to, and to achieve and accomplish all of your real dreams. Not the dreams that you've been conditioned by society and by the powers that be to be a consumer instead of a creator. As long as you're a consumer instead of a creator, you're lost and you're feeding them because they want you to be buying this and buying that and so forth. The whole economy is based on consumerism. That's the reason why we're having so many problems, and that's the reason why we are going to have the Great Recession, the Great Depression that we are going to enter into. And a part of it is it's actually manufactured deliberately because they want to pull and break down the global economy. The elites do, because they want to bring in the CBDCs. Okay, they want to bring in the digital currencies to replace the current fiat currency system because it's programmable, because it's trackable. They will know everything that you do. Everything that you buy will be trackable and traceable. There'll be no more hiding cash under your pillowcase. There'll be no more of you doing cash jobs and things like that. You will be on the hook for everything that you do. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. I'm not talking about being about tax evading or anything like that, but I am talking about the fact that it's being put in place to create control. It's being put in place in order to further enslave humanity in more ways than one, because once they are able to really fully control your finances and be able to turn on and off that spigot based on whatever rating system that they decide to utilize to determine whether you're worthy or not worthy of, receiving certain income and certain status and entry into certain things, or being able to buy or access certain goods and services. It's all going to be controlled and manipulated potentially. So the reason why I even went into that, because again, this is about the god of money. And what's happening is that because we're getting tightened and the global economy is going to collapse, and they want it to, right? Now people are starting to panic, right? People are starting to more and more panic. Oh my God, what's going to happen? So now what's happening is that people are getting more and more money oriented, right? So now everyone's starting their online businesses. Everyone's starting to try and hedge and losing tons of money in frivolous investments and things like that because they're trying to make a quick buck and break free of, whatever circumstance and situation that they're currently in. And certainly how things are getting much, much worse. That started with the pandemics and all of that. That was the nail in the coffin that was designed to accelerate this particular set of circumstances that we're in. But the illusion of it is, and where the trap is, that there has become this overemphasis on money, overemphasis on all of these material, illusory things. And people are losing sight of the fact that the only place you need to go is inside. When you do the work on yourself, when you go in and you put the focus on the true God, the true source of all of creation, and for you to become the best possible human being that you can be, to summon the unconditional love that will carry you through these turbulent times, can only come from within. Because you can manifest and create as much money as you want, but if you haven't cleared the cobwebs out of here, and you don't have that relationship, and you're not guided by the source, then you're going to have a very, very rough and rocky time. And the illusion is that having money is going to protect you. That's the illusion. But I'm telling you now that it's going to be far more greater than it needs to be. But I'm telling you now that it is not going to protect you to the degree that you think. And there's an element of a lack of trust in there too, right? Because do you not trust that the universe will take care of you? Now, I'm not saying not to hedge against what's coming, right? But when you're hedging based on the guidance that you're receiving on the inside, what to invest in, what to buy, what to do, what action to take, rather than from a place of fear and panic and chaos and disconnectedness. Because that chaos and that disconnectedness and that emotionality and that fear is what's going to drive you to lose money. Now, I happen to be a fan of crypto and a lot of other different types of investments as well. But I'm a fan of crypto, right? I have watched so many people lose so much money in crypto, including myself. So much money because the markets are manipulated, because people are wanting to make a quick buck and they're getting into investments when they're already pumping and when they're already well on their way up. And then when you have a situation where the markets shift and change, then people sell out of panic and fear and sell at a loss rather than holding out and waiting till the prices go back up. If you left your money in there because you didn't take profits and didn't heed the warning of, a lot of the investors out there that have been telling people what they shouldn't do. And some that were shoddy and were making bad recommendations. But the point is, that's not the point. The point is this overemphasis on money and people just trying to think that, or thinking that money is going to solve their problem, that money is going to make them happy, and that money is the solution to all of your problems. No, money is just a piece of paper that everyone has agreed holds value. And the value of that money changes all the time. And as a matter of fact, it's decreasing. The value of that money is decreasing. But you know what? The value of what you have inside of you always increases. Because the more that you remove all your limitations and all your trauma and conditioning and belief systems and programs and abuse and all the things that are holding you back from literally being superhuman and from tapping into your true power, your true gifts, and what you have to offer to the world that no one can take from you ever. That's what you should be focused on. Not making a quick buck, not buying into the illusion of what's going out there. Because whatever the powers that be are doing that seems terrible, okay, that they're going to collapse the global economy and all of that, the Great Reset, all the hoo-ha around all of that, it's actually irrelevant because, number one, it needs to happen, all right? Our monetary system is screwed. There needs to be a reset button, all right? It needs to be reworked. They're actually doing the work for what is coming and what would be necessary in the new world, okay, in the new age that we're heading into. So they're actually doing the work, even though their intentions is to usurp more control and more power. But again, that's the illusion, because that's going to crumble as well. They're not going to be able to get away with the things that people think that they're going to be able to get away with. They're just not. There's so many reasons why that I cannot get into here. But there's an easy explanation, and that is because everything is all one. Everything is all interconnected. And what's happening right now on this planet is that we are evolving out of a third dimensional reality and moving into a fifth dimensional reality, into a golden age. And what is happening is that the old systems are failing and crumbling. Anything at all that was built on the foundation of non-love is crumbling and will crumble. And the more light and the more love and the more that the frequency and the vibration of this planet increases, the harder it is to sustain that non-loving stuff. And so the truth, the non-love, is coming out. And that's what you're seeing is happening in the world. And it's happening on an individual level as well. If you actually were honestly able to talk with every single human being on this planet, honestly, and have them reveal to you their deepest, darkest secrets, everyone is feeling it on the inside. Everyone has their crap coming up, more so than ever before. Everybody is feeling like they have less and less control over their lives because that love that's coming in is flushing all the non-love out. And the people that are in denial and the people that are holding on for dear life onto the fear, onto the separation, they're going to get hit the hardest. And they're going to be the ones that are going to get sicker and more ill, and they're going to be the ones that are not going to be able to sustain those actions or behavior. And if they choose not to change, then they will leave the planet. It just works. That's how it works. And it's not a bad thing. And it's not a punishment. It's just, we have free will on this planet. And that's what makes it real, right? So we have a choice. We can make the choices regardless of the conditioning and the programming that we have taken on. You still have a choice of whether or not you're going to be a good human being or a bad human being. Whether you're going to do things that are truly, truly, truly good versus truly, truly, truly bad. Unfortunately, a lot of the bad things are wrapped up in these packages that look good, and that's what we get sold, right? Through the media and by the big corporations and all of this. Oh, look at all this good stuff that we're doing and all of this. And in the meantime, there's all this corruption and all this stuff that's going on behind the scenes, lying, deceit, manipulation, and things aren't in the way that they describe that it is. But the point is, it doesn't matter, you see. But the money of God is a very real problem. And as long as the collective consciousness buys into the money of God and allows the God of money to corrupt them and to tempt them into non-loving actions, then what do you think the outcome is going to be? The outcome is going to be that it's going to have to become very painful and very difficult. And the God of money will have to be eliminated from this planet in order to bring back the real God, the God of love, the God of unconditional love, the God of compassion, the God of empathy, the God that is there 100% of the time showering you with unconditional love. The only reason why people haven't been able to experience that and have very limited experiences of that is because of all the clutter, all the conditioning, all the programming. The only access to your divinity, to your true power, lies within you. That's where the transformation takes place. That's where the healing takes place. That's where all the realizations take place. And you know what the coolest thing about this is? That you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to believe me. But if you take the time to go within, you will find the answers that are right for you. You will find what it is that you need to do to live a better life. You will find the answers. You will find the guidance. And the more that you summon in more and more love, the more and more the non-love inside of you will get released and worked out. And so more and more of your limitations and the blocks and the conditions and the programs will leave you and get resolved and worked out. But whether you want the upheaval in your outer world or you want the upheaval in your inner world where you have control is up to you. The more you work on the upheavals inside of yourself and foster that and pull out everything that you can and create as much upheaval inside of you in order to clear it out, the less upheaval you will manifest and create in your outer reality. The more you ignore this and shut yourself down and go into denial and pretend that you aren't all that you are, the more that the outside world is going to have to slap you around and knock you around in order to force you to go inwards eventually. Because this is where true power lies. I mean, heck, science has shown and proven that with meditation, you're able to not only rewire your neurology, but you're actually able to change your genes, your genetic expressions. And you're actually able to even change your DNA and heal your body. This is now scientific fact. This isn't like a joke anymore. Stuff that the woo-woo, spiritual, ancient traditions have been speaking for eons. Now's the time, folks. Now's the time for you to start making the right decisions and the right choices and not buying into all the crap that's going on in the world and the illusion of it. Again, I'm not saying to not do the things that you need to in order to prepare for the difficulties that may or may not transpire and may or may not impact you and affect you. But what I'm saying is, if you want to be the most effective, then you want to be guided from the inside out so you don't waste the time and you do things the way that you and your soul and your higher self need you to do it so that you can navigate this consciously and connected with a higher power that knows you better than you know yourself. It's a bulletproof system. It's perfect. But don't buy into the illusion. There's a reason why the greatest spiritual masters on this planet that have lived in the past and that live currently on this planet don't talk about money, ever. Their teachings have never discussed money or manifestation of money or anything like that, unless someone asks the question. But they generally won't, because it's the illusion. When you have everything in here, you have everything out here. That's the great mystery of life. It's what everyone is missing. And if you trust in that, 100%, you'll be taken care of. You'll be taken care of. And that's not woo-woo mumbo jumbo talking. That's not a lofty sounding idea. It's fact. It's actual fact. But until you realize it, until you go within and do the real work, I have courses, I have programs, I have reclaiming sessions, I have all these different ways in which you're able to start fostering that trust, start fostering that relationship with yourself, and start honoring your body and start getting out of the fight or flight and the fear and the stress mechanisms so that you can see the reality for what it truly is and not be impacted in a negative way by the craziness that's going on out there. Because it's just going to get worse, to be honest. It's going to get worse. It has to. And, you can be in denial of it, but it still doesn't change the fact that your greatest power lies within you. Your greatest access to information lies within you. When you follow your heart and you use your gut to navigate, and you let your mind, your brain, be subservient to the higher powers that be, OMG. OMG. You could not even possibly imagine the power that you have access to and how it's able to play out in the physical world and the degree to which it can play out in the physical world. And the truth is, it's incorruptible. It's not corruptible. It can't be corrupted. People think that they can get away with shit out there. You don't get away with anything. It's not possible. It's not possible. And why would you want to? If you need to lower your vibration in order to do bad acts or less than loving acts, then you're lowering your vibration, dude. What do you think you're going to create in your life? More of that lower vibrational stuff. But don't let money, the god of money, tempt you and pull you in and be a substitute for spending that time every single day meditating and going withinwards and fostering the ultimate relationship, the only relationship that truly ever exists and is immutable. And that is you, yourself, your higher self, and what's going on inside of you. That's all I have to say about that.